that shoe goes for $25,000. I'm willing to pay that much money for this shoe. And it's like these right here. These are the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low. This is about a $600 pair of shoes.
Dang. What?
So,
how much do you think my
serious?
used on clouds are worth?
I'll give you $5 for
$5 for them.
I was just doing gardening for my mom probably about an hour
in your $600 shoes,
yeah,
bro.
So.
Eric Patterson with Save Souls on the pod. Hey, welcome to Topeka Insider, man.
Edit that part out.
Edit that part out, Gabe. Welcome to Topeka Insider. How we doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
Dude,
Yeah,
thanks
man.
for being here.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Save Souls, give us the rundown. What if someone has never heard of Save Souls? What do you do? How long you been operating? What's going on?
Yeah. So we've been open in Westridge Mall, Topeka, Kansas, for about 8 to 9 months now. Save Souls is your high-end buy, sell, trade shoe store. So we buy shoes, trade shoes, sell shoes, different brands like Jordans, Nikes, Yeezys, the higher-end stuff. Just give people here a chance to get into the sneaker industry that everybody's seeing online. So.
Gosh, the sneaker industry. That is something I know dangerously little about.
I know. I was like, this is going to be embarrassing, like revealing a major blind spot. So I know that the sneaker industry exists. Like I have buddies who are into it, but I'm not really into it. So as such, demonstrating the little knowledge I have about this, when I first like heard about the idea, I was kind of like, who would want to buy used shoes? Like, you know, but in the high-end sneaker market, it's not like someone's wearing nasty shoes for a year and then selling them or something. Like, or I don't know, is it like what is this?
You definitely have people with terrible hygiene and with dirty shoes that come in.
But high-end shoes like hold value, even though it's not like, so are these shoes that are like sitting on someone's shelf forever, or like?
It really just depends on the person, right?
Okay.
And so everybody, how I explain it is everybody has their thing, right? Whether that be cars, whether that be hats, whether that be, golf clubs, Pokemon cards. Shoes hold their value because to somebody they mean something, right? So the first shoe that Jordan ever wore was not the first shoe that he wore, but one of his first shoes was the Chicago Jordan 1s that came out in 1985. That shoe means something to somebody.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay whatever that shoe goes for $25,000. I'm willing to pay that much money for this shoe. And it's kind of the same all the way down the line, right?
Right. So it's different. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So I need to catch up to speed here. So I was under the impression that a lot of the like shoe collectors, it was more like, you're more like collecting shoes that you're not necessarily wearing very often. It's just like, kind of revealing, hey, I own this. Like, like a collection, you're not like bringing it out in public a lot, but is that really not the case? Like you might have one pair of $200 Jordans that you're wearing every day. And is that, or does it just kind of depend? Like,
it really just depends. There's extremes both ways, right? You have some collectors that I know that they have over 500 different pairs in their closet and they might wear only like 50 of them. And they want to keep some of them just, hey, this is for my kids whenever I die, and they'll have whatever happens.
That's like the inheritance.
The retirement plan.
Exactly.
Dang.
But then you have people like me. Like I firmly believe that you should wear your shoes. Like these right here. These are the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Lows.
Throw those up there.
Let's
Get a
go.
look at
I know, man.
The Travis Scott. Nice.
Dang.
So
How
like
much are those shoes worth right now?
Right now, this is about a $600 pair of shoes.
Dang.
What?
So
How much do you
Are
think
you
my
serious?
used on clouds are worth?
I'll give you $5 for them.
$5 for them. That's right.
So does it make you nervous, like wearing those outside? Like I'd be afraid to like scuff them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It really just depends. I remember when I first got into it, a lot of the shoes that I had, I'd do like the pigeon walk when I first got them.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, a shoe's a shoe. A shoe's meant to be worn. So
have you seen like the videos of guys like proposing and they take the one shoe off because they don't want to crease it when they kneel?
Yeah.
Like, so would you do that with those?
I used to be that guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I used
okay.
to be that guy.
But would you take those off if you were in a kneel?
No.
Like,
I was just doing gardening for my mom probably about an hour
in your $600 shoes,
yeah,
bro.
So it just
Dude,
it matched the outfit. So.
He's got a store. He's got, that's
got
just
the
a
hookup.
commodity.
Yeah.
So someone wants to come in and buy some high-end shoes. You're the hookup. Save Souls.
Yeah.
Where are you guys out of?
And so we're in Westridge Mall right now. We're where the old Journeys used to be.
Okay.
But
perfect.
we're in about 2 weeks, we're going to be moving to a bigger location over closer by like Petland and Champs.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Heck yeah. Is that because you need the space? Like you need more room?
And so we're going to be doing a few different things. Not only we're going to still be selling, you know, the shoes and the clothing, but we're going to be opening up. And this is actually the first time I'm saying this in front of like other people.
Oh, let's go.
But we're going to be
Insider exclusive. Here we go.
All right, we're going to be opening up a custom lab. And so a place for people to come and customize their own shoes. Where we teach people, okay, this is the art of painting shoes. You know, if you want to turn your own swoosh backwards, if you want to put different laces in there, custom Air Force Ones. And so we'll have like a custom shop on the other side for people.
Dude, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So that's the reason for the move is that you want to have space for something like that.
Of course, that and also, you know, Advisors Excel coming into the mall, they need a little bit more space on the other side. So we're just going to split sides.
That's awesome. So how long have you been going after it? How long have you guys been open?
Yeah, we've been open for about 9 months now. Opened up in July of last year.
Cool. Yeah. Now, okay, so walk us through the high-end sneaker side, but there's also a ministry side to the Saved Souls.
Yeah.
What's the balance? Walk us through that. What's going on there?
Of course, yeah. And so one of the things that obviously that I believe in is that in anything you do, you should put God first. And so when obviously coming up with the name of the store, I wanted to incorporate that, but also that everything you do has some sort of ministry, right? And so whether that be just sharing the word with somebody when they come in the store, encouraging them if they look down, right? We've given out free pairs of shoes to people who need it. You know, if you just need a pair of shoes here,
that's awesome.
Here's something for you. And so just in everything that we do, we should obviously be putting God first, especially when it comes to a business side of things. There's definitely a little bit more that we want to do down the road, but also even from like the clothing side, right? Giving people an avenue to where they can feel like they might be like fitting in with the types of clothes that they're wearing, but they're wearing something that they can ultimately believe in and share the gospel with as well.
Cool.
Sweet, man.
How'd you get into shoes, man?
Yeah, and so growing up, I used to make fun of people like me that, you know, wearing shoes like this and blah, 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 blah. And then I had a cousin who went down to Texas and he brought me back up a pair of shoes. I wore them and man, you couldn't tell me nothing that day. Everybody was like, oh, snap, EP. He got on the XYZ. I forget what they were, but I was like, oh, snaps. Like,
oh, you don't remember what the shoe was?
I think it was the original Retro 3 Black Cements from 2000. Either 16 or somewhere around that.
I feel like we're talking about fine wines.
Yeah,
like,
I'm nodding.
That's a good vintage.
I'm nodding my head like, that's a great shoe.
Yeah.
Like, I have no clue.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I got that and I wore it and I was like, oh, snaps, EP that guy. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, I need to wear more
just
shoes
hyping
like
you up.
this.
I know.
Yeah. And so I asked my dad, I was like, hey, can I borrow like $250?
Just
and
low
he
key.
was like, for what? I was like, I'm gonna buy some shoes. He was like, no, no, I'm not giving you $250 for some shoes. But then I was like, kept asking him week after week, hey, Dad, I really want this shoe. The shoe's coming out. And so he was like, okay, whatever. He gave me the $250. He goes, you better pay me back too. And so like 3 weeks go by and my dad said, hey, where's my $250? I was like, oh, sorry. Here it goes. He goes, all right, now walk me through it. What'd you do? How much money did you make? I was like, Dad, I bought 3 pairs of shoes for $250 from this person, and I sold it over here for $600.
Oh,
then I
what?
took that $600 and I put it into this. And I turned that $600 into $1,000. I was like, Dad, I made some money.
Yeah.
And I paid you back. He was like, by doing shoes? Like
wow.
This is what you're doing? And so I think he gave me like another like $500 to go buy some more shoes. And ever since then, I've just been buying shoes and flipping shoes.
Wow.
Just been wheeling and dealing.
Exactly.
How long? When was that process? How long ago did you start selling?
Yeah, so I started selling shoes when I was end of middle school, beginning of high school.
Wow.
And you said you're 23 now.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for
10 years?
10-year decade.
Yeah, a long time.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's wild, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So was it pretty quick, like that turnaround of like, you said it was your cousin who brought you a pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't even just you collecting shoes to start. It was immediately like you saw the opportunity to trade and sell and really basically start a little business.
Exactly.
Wow.
And so there's kind of like two ways of looking at it. I love to pitch it to people like that, but there's also like the truth behind it was I wanted more shoes to wear. And so I'd buy the shoe, wear the shoe for a week, and then sell the shoe. Then
buy the
shoe,
real?
Wear the shoe for a week, and then sell the shoe. Just so that I could have more shoes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was still reselling the shoes.
That's so smart, though.
Yeah,
Man, that is not something I would have thought of. Like, that's so smart. How are you like finding these shoes? Was this like just word of mouth with your friends? Was this online? Like,
yeah. And so when I was getting into it, I started to meet a lot of the different resellers that were in town. There was probably around 5 to 10 of us here in Topeka.
Mostly individuals, like no one had a store, or
there's no stores. When it came to this here in Topeka, at least. And so I met a lot of them, but about a year into doing it, I realized that, okay, all these shoes are just kind of going in a circle because I sold a shoe to somebody else, and then 3 months later, somebody's selling me that exact same shoe. And I'm like, didn't I?
For $1,000 more than you?
Like, didn't I just sell this shoe to somebody else? And so that's when I started to really try to grow online. And one of the things that I did was I met a lot of people out of state, bought shoes from them to basically, in a way, repopulate the shoe industry in Topeka. And so I'd buy a lot of shoes from outside of the state so that, now I have zero competition.
Just through social media?
Yeah.
Wow.
My biggest one was Snapchat, actually.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
It's kind of like the lost cousin of social media.
I know.
So what is because I've seen videos online where, someone comes in, is trying to trade a shoe, and, the guy will, like pat it, see if it's real or something. And I'm like, I don't know what that guy's doing, but he seems like he knows what's going on. What is the craziest story you have, someone bringing something and trying to sell you? Have you ever told someone like, no, I'm not buying that?
Oh, many times.
That's a thing. Okay.
Yeah. And so when it comes to the sneaker industry, obviously when you have a really, really big industry, whether that be anything, there's going to be that replica side of things too, right? And so if you have this big Louis Vuitton bag, hey, got this $25,000 Louis Vuitton bag, and somebody's, on a blanket in New York, hey, I'll sell you this Louis Vuitton bag for $100, right?
Yeah.
So there's something fishy.
The odds
here.
are low.
Exactly.
This is real.
Right?
Sure. Yeah.
It's the exact same thing when it comes to sneakers, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of replica sneakers out there. There's a lot of names for them, whether it be replica, whether it be factory direct, whether it be one of one, but at the end of the day, it's a fake version.
Really?
Sure.
Wow.
The sneaker, right? Because if you have shoes that are going for $500 and somebody else is saying, hey, I'll sell you the same shoe for $100.
Right.
That sounds interesting to some people.
Right.
But at the end of the day, for what we do and what we believe in, we try to stay away from those replica shoes.
What are some obvious tells that a shoe is a fake or a replica?
Yeah. And so for me, it's the weight of the shoe. Like I can put a shoe in my hand and be like, this is not a retro 11, or this is not a this. Or even just, knowing a little bit more about the shoe, right? And so if I know that this was supposed to be like a Chicago colorway shoe, this red is more of like a cherry red instead of like a Chicago red.
Wow.
Right? Even down to, if you look at like the inside of the shoe, you can see the stitching is wrong on some parts, right? It's the Jordan, somebody brought in a shoe where instead of the Jordan being like this, the Jordan had a little bit of sass and was like this. That's
Are
not a real shoe.
Are some of those shoes, like, I mean, I imagine a Jordan where he's, flexing a different way. That might be, is that worth something because it's funny?
Definitely not.
No, it's not.
It's not worth anything at all.
No. Yeah. I'm showing my knowledge of this industry.
Is there
Quit
a difference?
laughing at me. Just
No, I'm laughing. It's really
stop
funny.
it right now.
It's so funny. Is there a difference between fakes and are there like misprints?
There are.
That are like actually authentic from the factory, but just done wrong on accident.
Maybe John does know more than I do.
Yeah, and so those are called your B grade shoes, and there is like a market for it. We don't deal with a lot of B grade shoes, but what that is they messed up somewhere. So sometimes like one of the biggest things for B grade shoes is the color of the sole at the bottom, because like when they're dyeing like the sole of a shoe, right, they might like run out of ink towards the end of all the shoes, XYZ. So the color's a little bit faded, or the print on the side is just a hair wrong. You'll see that. There was one where somebody looked up a picture, and this actually goes back to your instance, right? They got it straight from Nike, but the back tab was upside down on the shoe on accident. So instead of him selling it for like $300, I think he sold it for like $40,000.
Oh, what?
Because it was a one of one shoe.
Okay.
At
Right,
this point.
okay.
Okay, I'm not crazy.
Wow.
There's some.
So that does happen in some points, but that would be more of like a B grade shoe rather than a
I
straight
got
up
you.
But
replica.
B grade shoes could be worth more,
They could be sometimes, yeah.
but most of the time they're not.
Most of the time they're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It reminds me of shoot. I don't know who it is. I think there's a baseball card because I collected baseball cards when I was a kid, and there was this old. I think it was 1980s card, and it's super valuable because there's one version of the card where he's holding the bat on his shoulder, and the knob has nothing on it. And then there's another version. It's like a one of one because they took it down. Not a one of one. It's just really rare because they took it down and stopped running as a print. Where the baseball knob said "FU" on it, and the guy did it on purpose, and because he thought it'd be funny for his baseball card.
Like as they took the photo, he wrote it on the bat.
On the photo, it's on the knob of the bat, and he did it on purpose, knowing it would be a baseball card. And he goes, "This is going to go viral," and so he put it over his shoulder. And then when I don't know if it was Topps or whoever it was, whatever card company realized what was going out because he kind of slid it in there, didn't tell anybody. They shut down on the printing because they don't want that on their card. Of
course.
But there's still some that are out there, so it's worth a lot more. So
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
That's crazy. Dang. Yeah. You have any like factory workers sneaking stuff into? This one has $100 bill sewn into the.
What's the most expensive shoe that you have either bought or sold?
And so since we've opened up, we've sold 2 really expensive shoes. The first one, I think it was around $1,600. It was an off-white Converse, actually. The other one that we sold, I think we sold like a month of being open, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!
Yeah,
I can do more of this.
Business is great."
Yeah, it was a $2,900 shoe.
Wow,
it was called
nice.
the Chunky Dunkies.
The Chunky Dunkies.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's a Ben and Jerry's collab with Nike.
Interesting.
Okay,
all right.
So were the Converse just normal Converse? Like, what was special about?
Yeah, and so most of the time when you get into like really expensive shoes, it's a collaboration with either 2 companies or a person in a company.
Right.
Like the reason that like these are more expensive shoes is because this is a collab with Travis Scott and Jordan.
Yeah.
So those Converses was a collab with Off-White, which is a company.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
And Converses.
Gotcha.
I totally just heard the color Off-White. I was like, what's so special about Off-White Converse?
Yeah.
I'm going to act like I knew more than you did.
Yeah,
on that one.
totally. Totally.
So do you have any employees? Is it just you rocking and rolling, or what's the team look like?
Yeah, I got my main man there. Everybody calls him JB, but I call him Zoom. So we've known each other for way too long. But basically my brother, he's there, one of my partners up there. So yeah.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome, man. Where would you like to see this go?
Yeah. So there's a few different ways that we really want to grow this. One of the biggest ways that we would like to grow this is in a way becoming a streetwear like Mardell, right? We want to be able to be a store where if somebody has like a Christian brand that they can't get into like a Target or a Walmart or fill in the blank, right?
Sure.
That we could be kind of that collective group where people can come in, buy, trade, and sell different Christian brands. Obviously, we want to keep growing with the shoes and everything like that, but we want to be like this big collaborative space where people can come in and buy different Christian apparel from all across the country.
Wow.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a big goal for us.
Most of your sales, do they happen online, or is you get a lot of foot traffic in the mall and you do a lot of business, brick and mortar? What's kind of that breakdown?
Yeah, and so most of our business as of now is in store. We did a lot of online stuff when it on the platform called Whatnot. It's kind of like eBay and an auction house mixed together, right?
Okay.
You go live and you not only have the point of like entertaining people, but then you're also like selling stuff there too.
Oh, it's like video? Like you're, oh, okay. Wow.
And so you're live video in front of people, showing them different products, and then you have the opportunity to sell that stuff as well.
Wow.
And so that's where a lot of our online business has kind of stemmed from. That's where we've gotten those really far orders with somebody coming from Dubai to order a pair of shoes from us.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we've hit almost every single state in the United States from sending shoes out to.
Dang.
But yeah, that's one of our big
That's
online
crazy.
platforms.
What's it been like starting a business in Topeka? What has been better than you expected? What's been harder than you expected?
Yeah. The hardest thing for me is getting out of my own head of what I think is going to work or not work. Coming from especially like a sneaker perspective, I would like to think I know a lot when it comes to sneakers.
Yeah.
And that I have a good grasp on taste. Doesn't always happen like that. There's some shoes I'm like, oh, these are fresh. Like,
Yeah,
everybody's buying these.
Yeah.
They sit on the shelf for like 3 months. I'm like, well,
dang.
no, I buy
Yeah.
these. And I think he'll pick a shoe. I'm like, those are ugly. Like, we're not gonna buy those, put them on the shelf, and they're sold out in 2 days. I'm like, well, dang. And so for me, I think it's just being a little bit more open-minded on what Topeka wants and what Topeka likes.
Like what their tastes are, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I think one of my biggest shocks was when I was in high school and college, I was telling a lot of my friends, hey, I want to open up a shoe store. They're like, yeah, no, you can't do that here. You got to go to Kansas City to do that, because that's all there ever was. There was sneaker stores in Kansas City, Manhattan and Lawrence, and there had never been a sneaker store in Topeka. And so I'm like, I want to open up a sneaker store. They're like, no, like Topeka's not doing that, right?
Yeah.
We're not having that. But the feedback that I got, from day one, people coming in and some of them spending some big dollars on shoes, and just the attaboys that I've got from doing this here in Topeka, that's really surprised me.
Well, that's
a lot,
awesome.
that most of my business doesn't have to come from bigger cities, but it can come from my own city right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that that your dad was basically like your first investor.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that's such a cool story. Like that your dad gave you $250 to then like, and then you paid him back, like making money, doing what you.
It wasn't the
doing.
first time that he gave me money and I had to pay him back, but that was definitely a little bit.
There were other times where you're like, I made nothing, so I just need to go get a job, and here's $250 back. Like
the first time that he gave me money, he's gonna be mad that I tell this story actually. For Christmas one year, I forget how old I was, but for Christmas one year, both my sisters got like an iPod Touch.
Oh.
Like one of the new ones that just came out. I think that was right when they first started putting like the buttons
Right.
on it. They got an iPod Touch. And then I got like one of those little like Walkman MP3 players. I'm like, Dad,
like the mini, yeah.
Like you have to have like a headphone jack for it and XYZ. I was like, Dad, like, what the heck, man? Like I wanted an iPod. I was like, actually, no, I want an iPad mini. Can I have an iPad mini? He was like, sure, you can have whatever you want as long as you pay for it yourself. Like,
classic dad
what
move.
is this, right? And so he was like, you know what, we're gonna teach you how to make some money. And so this was my first like entrepreneurial job. He gave me $80. We went to Joyle's, what was it called?
Joyland,
yeah, Boyle's. Joyland, yeah.
Boy, okay.
And we bought a little red wagon. We went to the hardware store, painted it red. We went and bought like a big 40-gallon cooler. We went and bought like a little cocktail dispenser. I didn't know it was a cocktail dispenser at the time, but a little cocktail dispenser. Went to Sam's Club, bought some bottles of water. Then I went to Dollar Tree and I bought some little lemonade packets. And I went door to door selling a bottle of lemonade and a little lemonade packet. It was called Little Eric's Pink Lemonade.
What?
And I sold it for $1 a piece. I went all over the different neighborhoods. I set up at different parks and just went door to door selling pink lemonade. And I remember like the first 3 weeks of me doing that, I was like, Dad, I made $150 selling lemonade. He was like, hey, you still owe me that $80. I went cried in my room. I was like, no, please.
I thought the $150 was mine.
Exactly. But I paid him back. And then at the end of the summer, I think I made like around $500. I went and bought a brand new iPad mini.
Wow.
Let's go.
And so it was fun. I mean, I didn't
all
want to
from
do
that
it.
$80, like the $80 bought all the supplies that made you $500.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that was my first job, my first entrepreneurial kind of
So is your dad seems pretty entrepreneurial then. Is he kind of naturally thinking like that too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. He does. And so my dad, he's the pastor of a church here in town called Living Truth. My mom owns a daycare center here in town. My sister owns a salon here in town.
Wow, family of business owners.
No kidding, yeah.
So
Wow.
I've kind of always grown up around, hey, almost that kind of like do it yourself, make your own money, do your own thing.
Right.
My dad always told me, get your own little red wagon that you can push down the hill, kick it, do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it's yours. Right? And so just having that kind of mindset growing up is what are different ways that I can hustle and make my own money.
Man, I love hearing stuff like that because I'm not naturally like that. Like if you gave me $80, be like, now go make $500. I'd be like, dude, I have no idea. Like, I don't know. Like, Casino? I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Like, that's not just how my brain works, you know?
Yeah.
What are some other things? Were there other lessons your dad taught you growing up that contributed to, like, you know, just how you think and how you see opportunities and things?
Yeah, definitely. The another thing that lemonade experience taught me was, you know, if you go up to, you know, an 8-year-old kid and he'll say, "Hey, I'm selling lemonade for $1." They say no and slam the door in my face. Like, I went home and cried a few times.
Yeah.
What's my lemonade, right? You know, but that kind of told me. He would explain to me, "Hey, everything's not going to be a sale, but at the end of the day, if you don't make a sale, you can make a friend." And so just keep that mindset of, hey, not everybody's your customer, right? But everybody's a person at the end of the day that you can have a connection with. And so that's one of those lessons that has grown with me.
That's so good.
Ever since I've been selling stuff, you know. I used to follow my mom to the bowling alley. She would bowl league and actually had a nickname at the bowling alley called Candy Man. I would go to Sam's Club and buy, like, you know, those 40 packs of candy. And then I just go sell them to everybody at the bowling alley.
What?
$1 a piece. You know, I spend $20 and I make $50 or whatever. And I would do that every single Friday.
You've been wheeling and dealing.
Dude, I know, bro. This is amazing.
For a long time,
Yeah. Wild, bro.
I used to sell candy out of my locker in middle school. I used to sell polo shirts out of my locker in middle school. And so, I mean, I've been selling stuff for a really long time.
Oh, that's super cool.
That's wild, dude. Wow. Man, tell us, would you mind getting into just like, obviously your dad is a pastor. Your store is very faith focused. Like, how did that come to be such a strong part of your life, and why is that a big influence in your business? Yeah,
and so for me personally, and what I've told people is, too many things just work out for me. Right? When I was growing up, there was a lot of stuff that, you know, it gets to a point where coincidences stop being coincidences.
Right.
And you have to give glory and honor to God for all the things that he's putting in your life. Obviously, I grew up in a religious household, and so that was kind of given to me. But I think where it becomes like boots on the ground was when I kind of left home and I had all these bills and all of this, and I couldn't do anything, and everything was just crashing down. And it got to a point where one day I was literally like in my car crying because I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I cannot do this by myself anymore. And like at the end of that day, I got a phone call and this big opportunity opened up for me. And I was like, you know, nothing but God, right? A lot of stuff happened because of God, especially in my life and in my family's life. And like I said, it gets to a point where you can recognize and see it's not coincidental. It's, hey, I've put my faith in God and he has blessed me because of XYZ. So I wake up and I thank God for all that he has done for me. You know, just waking up, having use and activity of your limbs, you know, having breath in your body. That's a blessing every day because there's people that don't wake up. There's people that, you know, don't have shoes to put on, whether they're $40 shoes or I'm blessed to be able to put on $600 shoes, right? There's people that wake up and they don't have food on the table. They don't have a roof over their head. They don't have family. They don't have friends. They don't have a car. At the beginning of each day, that's something that I have access to, all of those things. And so you got to wake up and thank God every single day just because of the simplistic things that everybody has in their lives.
Wow.
Preach, man.
Come on, man. That's so good. And how'd you go from that point to not just starting, you know, like maybe a standard shoe store to like, no, I want this to be faith-based. I want this to have a faith element in the branding in the store. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did that go from just, okay, personally, you know, I'm obviously trying to serve God, but I want this to be a part of the business itself.
Yeah. And for me, it was, like I had said, just in everything that you do, give God glory. And whether it's the smallest thing or the biggest life accomplishment in your life, right? You want to give that to God. Just because if you give it to God, he will bless it. If you put it in his hands, he will bless it. And so one of the things for me was just, hey, I want to start a shoe store, but, you know, all these opportunities that I've gotten up to this point to even be able to do this, that was a gift from God. And so I want to be able to put him at the forefront of everything that I do going forward.
That's awesome, man.
So you clearly have your head on your shoulders. You're rocking and rolling, being 23, starting a business. Do you have any business mentors in Topeka that have kind of come alongside you that you go to for advice or that you look up to maybe in town?
Yeah. There's definitely a few. Obviously, literally everybody in my family, they've been doing this longer than I've been doing this. I'm in here for maybe not even a year yet, my mom's had a child care center for 20 years. I was in the child care center. And so she's had a business for 20 years.
You were her first client.
Hey, I was one of them. My sister has had her salon for, I think going on 5 years.
Cool.
And so obviously looking up to them and asking them questions of, hey, how did you do this? Hey, why is this a thing? Like, why do I have to pay so much in taxes? Like all of this different stuff.
For real.
Yeah. Exactly. But another aspect of it was before I opened up the shoe store, I worked at WIBW. And I did marketing for a lot of different small businesses in the Topeka area. And so I was able to meet a lot of different business owners. And so I've also used them as my network to ask them different questions and find out a bunch of different things. Obviously, Cody Foster is a big mentor for me, just in, he's a small town guy who grew up here and now look at everything he's done from staying in Topeka. Michael Dubinton, he has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to business and business opportunities and being community focused. There's a lot of different people who I definitely could give props to, but those would be kind of the few that I would say.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Wow.
Have a big impact on me.
That's awesome, man. Wow. That's really cool, dude. Would you have any advice for somebody else with an idea that's thinking, hey, Topeka needs, I don't know, a pickleball place, or, Topeka needs this thing that we don't have, but man, maybe like your friends thinking like, man, that'll never work here. What advice would you give to somebody that's wrestling with whether to start a business or not?
Yeah. At the end of the day, you just have to try. Like, the biggest thing that I told my wife when I first did this, and I was like, but what if I fail? Like, this is my dream, and like, it's my fault if my dream doesn't work out, right? And she was like, you never know if you don't try, right? It's so simplistic, but you just never know what you don't know. And so, one of the people that I was like, oh, snaps, you can do this at 23 years old. It was this guy in the corner right here who has his own business who I met. Right, he was somebody that I.
Can we turn the camera around?
Yeah, who's that guy?
Oh yeah.
Turn the camera on the camera guy.
Yeah,
not gonna happen. Sorry.
Mr. Gabriel Butel.
Yeah, and so that's somebody that I've met who, he's the same age as me. He has his own business. He's rocking and rolling. Is it easy? Maybe not, but he's doing the thing.
Are you only 23?
Yeah, I'm 23.
Dang, bro. Wow.
I think that's super cool. And I think there's a big shout out to your dad in
Seriously.
making you go door to door. And I love it. You make a sale, you make a friend. And I think there's a ton of people that will never give it a go.
Right.
Because they're afraid of failing. And they're afraid of what is this going to look like if I don't make it? I'm going to get made fun of, or I'm going to, I might lose some money. And, you have to. You have to give it a go if you want to make it. And nothing that's worth it is just going to be easy and just be an automatic yes. I mean, if there's no risk, there's no reward.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Even how your dad made you face rejection.
Yeah,
like
sucked.
like you got rejected a bunch of times as a kid. So rejection's never fun, no matter how many times you faced it. But I gotta imagine that at least helped later. Like, I faced that, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah. Maybe I could do this.
So walk us through. Give me. I want to hear from your perspective, and we're talking about some people who were trying to encourage other people to start businesses. You've been in Topeka for a long time now. You said you moved back here when you were 9. What is something that you think Topeka's missing? And if you had a buddy say, "Hey, I'm going to start this business," you'd be like, "Yes, go for it."
Yeah. And one of the things, and I think we've actually chatted with this a little bit too, I feel like some of the things that are missing in Topeka is good, clean fun past 10 o'clock. And when I say good, clean fun, something that is safe for everybody, that anybody, any walk of life could come into, have a great time doing it, that's open past 10 o'clock.
So not just a bar from 10 to 2 or 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have plenty of those. We have enough bars.
Right.
What would be, and maybe you don't have an answer, so I'm not expecting one, but what would be an example of that somewhere else?
Like in and I'm different from a lot of people, but I'm the person, if one of my buddies calls me at 9 o'clock at night, say, hey, we're going to play basketball, I'm going to get my shoes and we're going to play basketball at night.
The Travis Scott ones.
Which shoes? Yeah. Which shoes you grab?
Not these ones. But yeah, and so for me, something that I would love to see is some type of like 24-hour sports complex.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
Anybody, any point can go have a pickup game of basketball or a pickup game of pickleball or whatever you want to do. And so just an open area for people to go have some good, clean fun.
Yeah. Dude, Ichabod Grill's putting in pickleball
I
course.
saw that. Have you seen they just posted
drove
some
past it on the
pictures.
way here.
It looks sweet.
I think they open this week. That's wild.
they do like a soft opening. I'm pumped.
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
be awesome.
Anything else? Other things that you're like, man, we need this.
Huh. That would be what I would have like off the top of my head.
Any restaurants?
You know, I feel like we have enough. I really do. I feel like me personally, I like a small like mom and pop burger than I do like a.
We talking like Bobo's, or we talking like?
So my favorite burger joint in Topeka is Price Package.
Oh, bro, yes.
That is like it's
not
like,
enough people bring up Price
We
Package.
haven't talked about that on this show.
It's like the
place
best
slaps.
burgers ever. You will feel it and regret it the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
100%.
will, for sure.
But at the time, like it's the best.
You'll
thing
need to
ever.
shower and change your clothes right afterward too. I mean, it drips through the bag into your
all
shirt.
over you. Yeah. That's like my favorite burger joint in Topeka.
That's amazing. Dude, I love that place. It's so incredible. I was shocked the first time I went there, and it's like, I don't know how you describe the inside of the place.
Yeah,
like it's standing room only. It's like an 8 foot by 8 foot area with the counter, and they also sell like toys and random stuff like on the wall. Like it's almost like a Chuck E. Cheese prize counter. It's kind of what it looks like, but they sell burgers, and they just dump it all in a bag. Like burgers and fries dumped in you go, and it's dripping when they give it to you. It's amazing. It's so good.
It's great. Best thing ever.
You said you went to college. Did you go to college here?
Yeah.
Washburn?
Yeah.
What'd you study there?
Music business.
Music business. Okay.
Yeah.
So you a musician?
I like to think so. So yeah.
I mean, you have a degree in music business.
I don't have a degree.
Oh, you started a degree in music business. I feel like that's you're a musician. What do you do? Do you play? Do you sing?
Yeah, and so I play piano, saxophone, and set. Obviously, growing up in
Are you kidding me? I asked you if you're a musician, and you said, I like to think so, I don't know. And you listed up like best, 5 instruments you play.
It was 3. And then I ran track at Washburn as well.
Oh, cool.
Did you grow up playing music at your dad's church?
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go.
Cool, man.
Heck yeah. PK, my dad started a church, and I was the drummer from 8th grade on.
Oh, yeah.
He said PK.
Yeah.
Pastor's kid.
Come on, pastor's kid, PK. You got to stick together.
All of
PKs.
us.
Come
I was
on,
like,
man.
what does that mean?
There's a special form of therapy that we have access to.
Yeah.
You know, we have jackets.
PKs get the worst rap, too. It's like either you're like a drug dealer.
Right.
Or like you're the up and coming pastor for the church.
Exactly. There's only
no
2
in
routes.
between.
Yeah. Exactly. That's 100%. Yeah. Yeah. You're either, you deconstruct and leave the faith, or you follow in your father's footsteps.
Exactly.
I followed in my father's footsteps, So.
Oh, that's super cool. Well, you want to hit him with some rapid fire?
Sure, man. Would you say Prize Package would be favorite restaurant or just best burger? Do you have a favorite restaurant generally?
Best burger from Price Package. I don't know that I have like a favorite restaurant, but for each like category, I have like my spot for it.
What are your top 3 categories then?
And top 3 categories would be tacos, pizza, burgers.
Okay, give us your top in each of those.
All right, so for burgers, Price Package.
Yeah.
For tacos, there is a food truck over off of like, what is it, 21st in California.
Yes, I was
right
hoping
when
you
you
would
get
say
off
that
the
one.
highway.
Yeah.
Best tacos in town.
Yeah.
Like the best. When it comes to pizza, my favorite pizza place in Topeka is Doughboys Pizzeria.
Doughboys.
They have a pizza called the Slaughterhouse, which is...
Where is that? I've never even heard.
It's over like right outside of Noto in North Topeka.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Sick, you're doing a home project. You're fixing up something around the house. Do you go to Menards, Home Depot, or Lowe's?
I go to Menards because I used to be a forklift driver there.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's 1 for the podcast. That's what I love to
One
hear.
for how many episodes?
This is 17, I think.
Yeah. One.
Sweet action.
Yeah, it's all right. You can't win them all.
Date night. You're taking your wife out on a date night tonight. Where are you going? What are you doing?
Prize package.
No,
Price back. No.
you can't answer for them.
One of the favorite things that me and my wife love to do are escape rooms, actually.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we've traveled the country doing escape rooms.
What?
No.
Just to try different ones
What?
out. And so, yeah.
How many have you guys done?
We've done over 100.
No
Oh my
way.
gosh, dude.
Are they like all similar and you get good at a couple, you're good at all of them, or are they all like different?
No, they're all different. It got after we did like 50 of them, we started calling ourselves like escape room connoisseurs, and so we would like.
I feel like
call
after
them.
10, you're officially like,
Yeah.
like how many people have done 10?
Yeah,
You know?
And so like there'd be some that like all booked out, and we'd like act like we're like social media influencers. Hey, we travel the United States and do like escape rooms, and we've got some of them for free, and we've got some.
That's so cool.
go in
Do
there
they
and
ever
do
look
some.
you up on social like,
I hope
this
not.
dude is not, there's
guy-
nothing about escape rooms
This
on
guy
this guy.
sells sneakers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But we've done a lot of them.
Oh, that's so
What's
cool.
the best one you've ever done?
The best one.
Or like some. What are some of the best ones?
So two of the one that like really stick out to me was one of our like first truly immersive ones. And it was actually in Lawrence. It was called Civil War. And so there was
That was the name of the room or the
That was
business?
the name of the room.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
The name of the business is Breakout Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, we went in there, and then it, like at some point you had to like hold 4 things on the wall, and then like the wall opened up, and then you did something else, and the floor opened up, and then now you're crawling through like a little tunnel into a different room. It was crazy. I was like, you know, what happened to just like the locks, and
Right,
keys,
yeah.
and like
Or
open
just
this door,
find your key behind the picture frame, you know?
Yeah.
That's
and
funny.
then I guess the other one would be we went to Branson, and there was one there, and they're like, hey, we don't think this room is for you guys. Like, this is usually we have at least 5 people in this room because it's so big.
Oh,
And
like
it's
they thought it was
literally-
too difficult.
Like, this is one of our hardest.
Wow.
And
He said, I took that personally.
yeah, I was like, no, now we're doing it. Now,
Yeah.
now we have to. And we go in there, and the premise of the entire room is chess. And I just happen to love chess. And so we get in there.
What don't you do,
of course
bro?
you do.
What?
And we beat the record for the room.
What?
Oh, that's
And like got
so
out in a
funny.
record-breaking time, and I was like, we did it. They posted us up on all their socials. And
Dang.
So yeah, that was
Dude,
a lot
are
of
you
fun.
he's like the most interesting person in the world. I mean,
Musician.
yeah, you're a
sells
musician,
sneakers.
exactly. A connoisseur of escape rooms. Dang, man. Are there any escape rooms in Topeka?
Yeah, so you have Noto Escapes in Noto. The owner's name is Kelly. I've known her for a little bit of time. She actually would let us go in there and like test out her escape rooms before
Dang,
she
okay,
launched.
that's cool.
Okay.
And so she has a lot of family-friendly, good ones there.
Nice.
The other one that I know of in Topeka, I'm pretty sure they're still open, is Conundrum. It's right across the street from Sonic off of 29th and Fairlawn.
Oh, okay.
It's like in like an office building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Have you like? How many do they have? Do they have multiple in Topeka?
So yeah, they have those 2 escape rooms in Topeka.
Like,
Each
they have
one
multiple
of them
rooms?
has like maybe 2 to 3 rooms at
Cool.
a time.
Okay.
Have you done all of them?
I've done most of them.
And are escape rooms something like you do it once, you never do it again because you know how to beat it?
No.
He's obviously done 100.
No. I mean, like,
Oh, you mean the same
the
one
same
over again?
room.
Oh.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
go back to the one you said, the one that was about chess. Like, you know, it's great. It was probably fun and exhilarating the first time, but you go do it again, you know exactly what you're doing. So
Exactly.
it's like you do it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, man. Have you heard about the like immersive like scary ones where they like
I
will
want to go.
try to get up in your
I want
face
to
or
go. Yes.
they're like they can touch you.
There's
you
one
know?
in Kansas City called The Basement that I really want to go to.
Really?
But my wife is dead set on no. Like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going.
I almost debated not mentioning this story, but I'm going to. I was doing an escape room with my family one year, and there was some key that was in the corner that we didn't know what it was for, and I started like throwing it around, you know, because I didn't know what I was doing, just kind of throwing it. Ended up going behind a wall, and I lose it. And 15 minutes later, we are stuck, and like we cannot go anywhere. Like we hitting the help button, like we need help. You know, at the camera guy, he comes in and he tries to find this key. He goes, "Where's that key?" And I was like, "I accidentally threw it behind the wall." He goes, "Yeah, you're gonna need that." I was like, "All right."
Did he get it for you?
Yeah,
or he just said
went,
you're screwed?
yeah, he went and got it. He said, "You can figure it out from here." I was like, "Okay."
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, rapid fire. What else do we got? How many potholes did you hit on the way over here?
At least 3.
At least 3.
Yeah.
least.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Dang, man. Man, we asked you. I think we hit all of them.
I think we did. Where can people find you at if they want to come visit the shop or if they want to get in touch with you? How can they best get a hold of you?
Yeah. And so you can look us up on Google, Save Souls. We're in Westridge Mall. Like I said, we're in the old Journey spot right now, but here in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be moving to the other side, to the right of the upstairs old Sears building. We're going to be right there, right across from the food court.
You're on social media, Instagram?
Social media, Instagram, Facebook. And then Snapchat is still our biggest audience.
Snapchat.
That is insane.
If you want to get in touch with
That is
Save
wild.
Souls, Snapchat it is.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is.
Eric, thanks for joining us,
Yes,
brother.
thank
This has
you
been
so much,
awesome, man. Looking forward
This
to
is incredible.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.